Well, those few reviews of shit are finally over, so I can actually review something good. So, what are we reviewing? Well, I'm gonna do another real review, finally. And what's it gonna be? Well, it's gonna be a Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street.
The review coming out October 1st, being my fourth review, or technically my third, but I'm gonna review it again.
So, before I look at the movie, let's talk about the backstory of it.
The movie being written by the late, great Wes Craven, who had trouble getting it even produced, until he went to New Line Cinema with Bob Shaye. He barely had enough money to even produce the movie, but they were able to work with what they had, and they made a great movie.
So now, let's get into the movie's plot.
The movie's plot is a man trying to kill Nancy and her friends, but this man is no killer mask. No, this is Freddy Krueger, the wisecracker, who wasn't really a wisecracker at the time, but was still talkative and scary.
So now, since this movie's backstory is set up, let's now actually look at the movie.
This movie starts off with Tina, who's having nightmares, and you would think that she would be the main character, but spoilers, she isn't. She's the first kill in the movie, and it's cool as fuck with the rotating fucking ceiling and blood everywhere. It's just awesome.
So this movie pulled a Janet Leigh from Psycho by killing the person who looks like it's going to be the main character first.
And I love they did this, and it kinda would have liked to see her in more scenes, but oh well, there's enough. And I love every character in this movie. I love that Wes gave you some time to meet them before Freddy, and eventually Nancy grows into a different character by the end of the movie. And, you know, she's one of the best final girls of all time. I mean, she's pretty damn good. And then there's also Rod Lane, and Johnny Depp is also in this movie as Glenn.
Gotta go. I think there's been an accident out front. Right. Right up. I'll call the police.
Yeah, this really isn't important. I just wanted to point that out before I forget. I mean, he's not the best in this movie. He's alright, but compared to other actors, he's not as good. I mean, don't worry. He'll get better. But in this movie, he's okay.
So then also, their parents are the real villains in the movie. I mean, because they're the ones that burned Freddy alive, even though they were in the right. For them killing their kids in a deleted scene.
So pretty much, you can't trust any adult in this movie, because they won't believe you. And that's pretty frightening.
And because they think he is dead, all the adults think that they're lying, or in Nancy's case, they think they're sane. And that is a really scary thing, and Nancy's parents are the worst. Her mom is an alcoholic, her dad's a workaholic.
But of course, this definitely isn't really the scariest thing in the movie. That is our man, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy in this movie, of course, is played by Robert Englund, but this Freddy is much scarier than the later MTV version. Freddy in this movie he really didn't have any one-liners.
Well, except for that one.
He says something, it is creepy. I mean, it really is. I mean, he doesn't talk that much either. I mean, you know, he does talk, but not as much.
Watch this.
And you might have never noticed this, but Freddy's only in the movie, physically in the movie for like 9 minutes. I mean, that's not very long when you think about it. I mean, you know, he's technically not in the movie that much, but you can feel his presence through the whole movie. And that's because, you know, the atmosphere in this movie is great.
The music in this movie and atmosphere definitely amplify it. And I do enjoy that. And it's one of the more unappreciated parts of this movie. I mean, the score is pretty damn good. I mean, it helps with atmosphere and the greatness of Wes's directing. And throughout the movie, Freddy also changes. I mean, at the beginning, you see him more screwing around with his victims, but then throughout the movie, he gets darker and more serious throughout. I mean, And sure, there are a few problems with the movie, mainly a few effects, but with Freddy, like with Freddy, when he extends his arm, and that hasn't aged the best over the years. I mean, and especially the ending, which I'll get to later, but the movie has more good effects than bad. I mean, most of the effects in this movie are pretty good, like Freddy pushing his head through the wall.
And this effect was done really easily. They just got a piece of spandex and put somebody's head through it, and they got a really damn good effect. And it definitely looks better than the CGI dog shit we had in the remake.
And the kills are some of the best kills ever. I mean, take Tina's death, which I already talked about a little bit, but it's kind of like the kill in Scream. It sets the mood, even though I love Casey's death in Scream, but I think this kill is better because it's cooler and it's more complex. Having a spinning room, it's just awesome, and they reuse it later for Glenn's death.
You know what? This kill is so awesome. I'm just gonna show it right now. Damn. That is fucking awesome. All that blood. Oh, so awesome.
This kill is great. I mean, this is just awesome. I mean, when they have the blood, like, pouring out, like it's upside down, and pretty much, so the lamp up there actually electrified the water, making that have that effect. I mean, there was some electrocutions happening, like, and it definitely looked like it fucking fucked up, but that fuck up just made it so much better.
God damn. That is one of the coolest fuck ups, like, ever. That effect is just awesome. I don't even have to say anything about it again. It's awesome.
The movie has 2 more kills, but they're not as good. But the nightmares are great, being creative, and I like that you can't tell that it's a nightmare right away. I mean, sure, there are a few things that help, like telling you like there's dead people there or something like that. Or then the nightmare world feels different.
Where's your pass? Screw your pass.
Hey, Nancy. No running in the hallway.
The only problem with that is they're following what Freddy wants them to do. I mean, Tina's out. Why the hell is Tina out there in her underwear? Alright, I'm about to spoil the movie, so if you haven't seen this movie, for the love of God, go watch it. Or skip the time code, but please watch it either way. Watch the damn movie.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
So all Nancy's friends are dead, and Glenn was supposed to help her out, but he's kinda dead too, in a definitely cool-ass way.
What?
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
So she has to call her dad to help her kill Freddy to whack the fucker. She gets ready for Freddy by setting up some Home Alone effects, so she tucks her mother in, which is kinda sad, and falls asleep to go in the dream for Freddy to just watch her for a few minutes. Until he's finally ready to attack, she grabs him and she wakes up. And it looks like she's crazy, but
Yeah, next time you pull Freddy out of your dreams, make sure you look behind the couch. He's normally back there. He hides there for a minute or two normally.
so now she is fucking with Freddy. Him going into traps and him getting blown up and burned.
Yeah, Wes Craven kinda has a trap fetish.
So he burns a pretty cool burnstone as her dad finally gets in.
Yeah, her dad is kind of an asshole. I mean, Nancy is calling for him like the whole time, but it takes him forever to get there. I mean, he does eventually get there, but it's a little too late.
So then they got to go upstairs, Freddy on top of her mom.
Yeah, it is kind of weird seeing someone on top of your ex. Especially with a burning child murderer. Ugh. That gotta suck.
So when they put a blanket on her, she of course is dead and somehow sucked inside the bed.
Are we in the dream world or in the real world? Since I can't tell.
So then her dad leaves, and when he leaves, Freddy comes out of the bed with a darker voice. But Nancy isn't scared, taking away all the power that she gave him.
And no clue how the hell this works, but I really don't care.
So then Nancy goes outside, and her mom and friends are still alive somehow, but because it was all just a big long dream.
Or was it all a dream? Actually, I really don't know. This ending is confusing as fuck.
Because when she gets in the car, the hood and windows lock her in, with Freddy stripes and, of course,
Was that a blow-up doll? Huh. Weird. Well, I guess I know what Bob Shea does with that now.
So, that was the ending. It might be a bit weird and make no sense, and it wasn't Wes's fault. Bob Shea wanted to make sequels, so they made this ending.
And to be honest, I actually prefer this one ending. I like to see the villain win sometimes, you know? And the original ending, anytime I see it, it just feels weird. I'm used to this ending. The only bad thing about it is the damn blow-up doll, but instead of that, it's a pretty good ending.
So that was A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I love it. The movie actually is scary, and it holds up pretty good. Freddy is a great villain in this movie, and he, I guess, is scary, even though I'm not scared of him at all. Robert Englund does a great job as Freddy, and I like Nancy. She's one of the best final girls, and the concept of the movie is great. Killer in your dreams, and there's no way to avoid him. Plus, the parents not believing in the kids, I like that. And even though there are a few problems, like the effects, and, some of them don't hold up very good, but most of the effects in the sequels and later sequels do hold up. Even though in the original they don't hold up as well, but, they're still pretty fun. And this is my favorite horror movie of all time. I mean, it hasn't aged well, but, watching this as a kid, you don't really notice the effects are bad, and you just love it throughout. And you know what? I still love this movie, even though it hasn't aged the best. I love it. It's just awesome. So I give Nightmare on Elm Street my highest rating of a 10 out of 10.
Yep, I gave this movie a 10 out of 10. Because this movie is that damn good. I mean, I can ignore the flaws of this movie. I know it has flaws, but you know what? I love this movie. So, anyway, that was my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And thanks for watching. Hopefully, I'll have another review out eventually. And maybe I might do another Is It That Bad sometime. I don't know. But until then, I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.